Venancia, pecho de cabra, pelo de noche, venancia, por nacer en la montaña, sos hija de la guerrilla, compañera campesina. Ellos tienen un fusil, vos un hermano enterrado, que mataron los soldados, porque era del sindicato. Tener cuidado, venancia. Tener cuidado, venancia. Tener cuidado, venancia, compañera campesina.
Sí, esa es una historia bastante difícil de contar de la guerra.
It is a difficult story to talk about. I was a leader of the community. I supported the revolution in any way I could. We'd meet at my house. Transportation. In 1984, the reserve was put into place, and men would be drafted. Two of my sons decided to join, and the Contras started harassing my family. The 4th of November, 1984, they came and took 2 sons from my house, and they never returned. After 1 year, the Contra came into town and took the other son of mine. We never heard from him again.
There was no future for me. When I was 13, I left my mom's and moved in with my boyfriend. He started beating me. At the age of 14, I had my first daughter. At the age of 20, I was the mother of 5, and it's a hard life to be an adolescent mother of 5 children and bear the suffering that I lived. When my husband returned home from the military, it was worse for me. He used drugs, took pills with alcohol. He physically abused me even more.
I lost my land after I lost my 3 sons. I stayed in Lamai and I continued to work for the revolution. The Contra attacked Lamai. There was intensive war here, a permanent military zone by the Contra. People were captured and killed. And then the low-intensity warfare came, where they attacked the schools, the hospitals.
I think the original mission was a political one. Potters for Peace is a way for potters all over the world to connect their love of clay with a way of working for peace and social justice, by helping people become more self-sufficient and connect with each other.
Well, I think everybody in Potters for Peace is coming pretty much from the same place. We're not a charity organization. We have a lot of respect for the potters. We try to kind of look deeply at the ways of how, when social change happens, how it affects people.
We were working in ways to support the Nicaraguan people in the face of the devastating opposition by the U.S. government in trying to overthrow their revolution.
The situation economically was disastrous. It was a country at war with a U.S. embargo against Nicaragua, but the people were happy. The people were hardworking. The people were in a spirit of challenge. They took on a challenge.
We decided to have a small benefit pottery sale and send the proceeds to Nicaragua. And out of that, Potters for Peace grew. We had our first trip in 1988. we met Ron Rivera, and he became our coordinator in 1989.
One of our first questions was, what do you need to make better pottery? And time again, the remarks I'd get was something like, we need rice and beans.
We wanted to provide technical assistance, appropriate technology, solidarity, accompaniment.
There's less shame. Now there's more respect and more dignity and self-esteem among potters. And then we expanded to new places. Wherever we heard a potter, we wanted to go there.
Del que está sin amasar. Se trae mezcla en el pie. Aquí están los pies trabajan.
Nicaragua.
You're here in Nicaragua?
Ceramics has always been my work. I live by working. Any work that comes my way.
These people work here. Should know the finished process.
I live in an isolated place. There's no good market for my work, except selling by the side of the road. Potters for Peace often asks me to teach how I make my large pots in other communities, and I'm always pleased to go.
Bárbara.
Cuando yo empecé a trabajar aquí, era una casa bien.
When I began to work here, it was a very small house, tiny, and there was a thatched roof above. We didn't have this. When we began to work as now in a group, we put up shelves and we set ourselves to work. We 5 sisters from a single house. I've worked making pottery since I was 8 years old because my mother worked. We've always been potters. She put us to work. I went to sell the pottery with my mom to the little villages around here a long time ago. Then eventually Potters for Peace came. We had a whole room of big jars, and Ron put them in his car and took them to sell. Before, we had to carry the pottery on our heads all the way to San Lucas, and we would break a whole lot of them. Now it's much better because people come up here to buy from us. We've changed our work because Potters for Peace has given us trainings. They gave us the idea to make dolls, and we got the idea to put movable arms and legs on them. Another way we've changed is that we paint colors on our pieces. They're more valuable with colors. Ron introduced us to the extruder for making simple shapes more quickly for large orders. It's very efficient and saves so much time. We used to be able to make 6 small planters by hand in one day, and now when we use the extruder, we can make 60 a day. We worked, and with the money from the products, we built this house.
Con ron
a ver cómo se construye.
We all used to make traditional pottery in our homes for personal use and to sell to other people in our village. Working alone was not efficient or economically beneficial. We formed our cooperative of women during the 1980s. It's better to work organized because this way you have the support and help of others. If you have a large order, you can't do it on your own. You have to be organized in order to do it. When an order comes, we decide who does what and how it's going to be done. Almost everything that we make sells. Potters for Peace has helped us to become even more successful. They helped arrange an enormous order of 18,000 pieces, the biggest order we've ever had. They also helped us expand our facilities to carry it out, to build a mani kiln, which is a much more efficient kiln, to hire more workers and to arrange our finances.
When we came, people said we wanted to sell more. And I said, well, to sell more, you'll have to change the concept of a local sales for the neighbors cooking dish. They just want the plain, cheapest thing you make.
To increase their sales, it's important to have designs that sell well in the States.
So we'll have to add something to it. A hanger in the back, a plate with a little hole so you could hang it on a person's wall, decorate it, put a drawing on it. Earrings. So we found people selling shards on the streets of this town. So we said, why don't we make imitation shards that we could sell and make it even nicer and lighter? Why don't we put pins on them? And it was a success story. Juan Paulino and some other people.
This organization has supported me in a way that I can't forget. Thanks to an idea that Ron gave me, that I could make a few pins. Today I have a successful business and a large house where my family works and lives.
When I visited the U.S. with Potters for Peace, I realized the potential of pottery. Then I saw how much more I could be doing, how much greater pottery could be. And that opened new doors for me in my creative thinking. I've motivated others to break out of their pre-Columbian molds and to wake up to other things. I think that is my success, to be original, to advance.
Potters for Peace has given me a lot of help with different techniques, with different new experiences, kiln, and helps with materials.
For firing my kiln, I use coffee husks, which helps me save 2/3 of the wood that I would have used. Manny Hernandez designed the hopper, which distributes the husks into the fire of the kiln. I've learned to build fuel-efficient kilns here in Nicaragua with Manny Hernandez. We went to Peru and Ecuador, and that is what we did. We built kilns for different potters there. When I began the craft work, I lived in a house of thatch. Then there was a big order for 18,000 pieces in Duquale. Many potters from San Juan de Oriente were invited to go there and help the women. To go there, I had to be responsible. I went to Duquale and I finished the work. And then I got my own order of 8,000 pieces. I built my house. It is tile and concrete and not of thatch.
You know, if the potters want to sell more, they sort of have to find a way to not lose their traditional designs and their traditional look, but modify it to a degree to where it sells better in all those markets.
As soon as I met Potters for Peace, I felt that my life had a better future. Thus, following the different pieces of advice, I learned that I had to think for myself and not allow my husband to do the thinking for me. I had to make my own decisions without relying on anybody else. I strengthened myself with the help of Potters for Peace, and a spirit of betterment was born in me. I felt I had to better myself and tried to find a better standard of living. I improved the quality of my work. I've gotten beyond all my past troubles and independent of my husband. He has understood all the bad he has done. He is a changed person. I have become ambitious for my children's sake so that they do not have to go through the kind of things I had to endure. Today the house is mine. I have a roof over me where my children are happy. I go to teach other women. It gives me nourishment. And whenever I've gotten to teach women, I've told them my whole story. Everything I am, I owe to Potters for Peace, which was interested in showing people a spirit of betterment.
Escogido junto al pueblo va venciendo, va luchando, caminando, con el grito en la garganta y el corazón en la mano, y el corazón en la mano. De manos jodidas le decían a Ramón, cantaba por los caminos, no le cantaba la flor. Yo le canto a mis hermanos del rancho y del barracón. Qué lindo decía es el canto que no tiene comprador. Qué lindo decía es el canto que no tiene comprador.
Cut a swath of devastation, destruction, and death across Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala, and El Salvador, unparalleled in regional history. And then, as the hillsides soaked up water, they began to give way, burying whole villages. A total of 11,000 people are reported dead in the region, including 4,000 in Nicaragua, 2,000 of whom were killed by a massive mudslide in the town of Posoltega in northwestern Nicaragua. The Nicaraguan daily newspaper El Nuevo Diario lists 763,000 left homeless, nearly 50% of them under the age of 15. Development experts predict that it will take Nicaragua at least 20 years to recover from this and other hurricane damage.
Cuando el huracán me dejó completamente terminada.
Hurricane Mitch left me completely terminated. We put up a little piece of plastic over there to sleep under. We need solidarity more than ever. The villages that were here by the river were swept away by Hurricane Mitch. Because of the desperate economic situation, we do not see a future.
Es decir, el proyecto arrancó a raíz del huracán Mitch.
The ceramic water filter project started at the time of Hurricane Mitch. The objective for the first 1,000 filters that we made was to donate them to people in areas most affected by the hurricane. We set up this factory to produce the water filters efficiently. We realized that we needed a press to mold the filters so they would be consistent and uniform.
And then there were no efficient kilns around. We wanted to load about 50 filters, so I designed a kiln. They got the name Monty, I guess that's me.
Laboratory tests show that these filters eliminate the principal contaminants of the water, everything that causes diarrhea. We produce great quantities of filters. Organizations come to us to order great numbers of filters destined for all regions of the country that we can access. When they call us, we go.
When Ron came, he bought the few ceramic pieces I had saved from the flood and brought us sheet metal roofing that Potters for Peace donated. And later he gave me an order to make ceramic water filter receptacles.
Potters were given a large order for 300 receptacles, which gave them an immediate source of income. The receptacles are being distributed to families in need.
My daughter fell very ill last week. We got them all checked out, and it turns out everybody has parasites. And so we drink the well water, which we just found out has parasites in it. So we came here by recommendation of some other people to buy a filter. And we understand it takes out all the microbes, and you can't buy anything like that on the Atlantic coast.
The new village of Calero was built by a collaboration of sister city organizations and other groups for people who lost everything. The government did nothing to help. We were only saved by the solidarity of the people who came to help us. Potters for Peace worked with these groups to organize the potters, built them a mani kiln, and hired Emi Stella Rivera to teach them how to make ceramic water filter receptacles.
Today we work with non-governmental organizations such as the International Red Cross, Doctors Without Borders, the International Plan, and the United Nations. We have produced over 20,000 filters in 3 years.
Every day, more and more people wake up and become more artistic. We want to show everyone our crafts. We all want to live by making crafts. Today, I thank God and all of you that buy from us, and those who fully support us.
Gracias.